My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Monster Train 2. And we're finally back to the point where I'm going to hit random. Oh, and we still get the Railforged. Hell yeah, but not our lead clan. We have Luna, specifically led by Eka as our lead clan, and then we also have Salvage Machine, 2 Steel Pulley Claws, and 2 copies of Bloody Moon in the base deck. Pretty happy about that Salvage Machine, because we've also got the Smelts, courtesy of Hef, in the base deck. Chosen of Entropy. Chosen of Entropy is actually really not that bad with 2 Steel Pulley Claws in the base deck, because you can just pull the Silence unit up to a floor where you can kill it. Oh! Oh, this is such a good room! Damn. Alright, let's check that artifact first. Mage Blades adds an additional damage per stack. I mean, the other one was empty, so we'll take the good one. But also, Mage Blade adds an additional damage per stack. It's the main way you get damage in Lunar Coven. And then the Celestial Spellweaver here. Conduit 6 on Incant, gain Conduit 1. We're not going to be super heavy on Incant, but we'll be pretty reasonable on it. And also, the higher we can get the Conduit, the better the Mage Blade will ultimately be. Merchant of Steel next to Railforged. So how am I going to get Mage Blade on a unit? You can get Mage Blade on a unit via equipment. You can get Mage Blade on a unit via the unit already having Mage Blade. If I have to go Railforged, then it's only this Lunar Coven banner that can give me... Yeah, literally just one more Lunar Coven banner, and then the unit you get after the boss to try and look for Mage Blade. Yeah. -1 energy per turn won't affect us. The Bogworm's growth as well. Unmentioned at this point, but permanently gives a capacity to random floor after each battle. I would love to get 6 capacity so I can put Eka, Shield Steward, and Salvage Machine down. At the moment it'll probably be this. Should Salvage Machine be top line so that I can get a Spear Steward behind a Shield Steward, maybe? Oh no! If I want to win this... Okay, no. We have to plan around drawing Steel Pulley Hoist. That's the winning path here. We don't have to draw it on turn 1, but we do have to draw it. 2 more incants. I forgot. You use the Salvage Machine's ability on turn 1, because you hold its scrap metal in hand. That'll also give me the ability to use it again before the boss comes out. Alright, I promise. No more restarting at this point. Unless I need to. So, Bloody Moon. And then Bloody Moon top. Witch Weave. Great. We salvage the scrap metal. Play Steel Pulley Claw and a Yoink up a Steward. Then I'll salvage the other salvage. And I'll play the Steel Pulley Claw on the same floor again to refresh the ability, allowing us to pull up another Spear Steward. And then all I have to do is keep the Shield Steward in the front line on full health. Salvage that Vengeful Shard. And scrap metal. Beautiful. We're losing. You are remarkable. Yeah, healing my own unit is not enough to... I even intentionally overstacked the top floor. What? How was I Oh, no. I guess Eka being further back would certainly help, but yikes. That's about as good as I can do. 24 damage to the enemy, and then I just have to let him go to the top line. Thankfully, they'll have a sap up there, but they get to hit me twice. Did I neglect to pull a unit that I could have pulled or something? Damn. That was really bad. Another Bloody Moon? I think the reason to take Medlar was if I want to go into Moon Cycle. Gravity could be okay too, though. Give me a Gravity. Gravity also comes with Calcified Ember, which has additional benefits in a deck where you can salvage the Calcified Ember. Bonk. Worldling's great for upkeep, but bonk Railforged 3? Yes. Merchant of Steel. Ooh, Dualism Smithstone. Okay, we can do stuff with that. It's really disappointing. So Crucible Steward at least is useful, because, you know, we'll be salvaging cards. Higher Steward for the heal sounds nice as well. I have to go for another unit in the next area. This is... Oh, yikes. Neither of these benefits in any way from Dualism. In fact, none of my cards do, except for Echo, who can't be hit with it. Great. Crucible Steward. Like, I can Smidgestone one of these, and I probably should, just so I can try and, like, salvage one size, Echo's one size, another unit's one size, and then I can maybe get a, you know, 5th unit on that line easily. Bogworms. But also, Bogworms says that the mini stone will stop being relevant really quickly. There's an argument to take Pyre Steward just so that I can try and heal up my Pyre a little bit, but then the problem with that is, like, sure, I can do it, but I still need to be able to win a fight, and I'm not able to do that at the moment. God, this is really nightmarish. I'm leaning Pyre Steward because of the additional health that it has, because what I need is a frontliner. I want Crucible Steward. I do. I don't feel like I can take it. Also, smelting a card to deal that damage will very quickly be eclipsed in damage by literally just casting a spell at an enemy. I'll take Pyre Steward. I'm going to give plus 14 damage to the salvage machine, because I'm going to need damage on that top line somewhere. And we give plus health to the Pyre Steward, because I'm going to need some health on that top line somewhere. I'm saving my money from the rest of this, because, like, after this reroll, what can I find? Large Stone? Sure, it'd be useful. Absolutely, it'd be useful. Middlingly. I don't really have a good holder for a Large Stone. Multi-strike? Yeah, Tight Knight would be okay for Pyre Steward. Probably even Endless for the same Pyre Steward. But, like, in terms of increasing our actual damage, it's Multi-Strike for Salvage Machine, or it's Quick and Damage for Salvage Machine, which Gosh. I need that Lunar Coven unit to be good. This is tough. Why is it Legion? I literally just do not have the health to be able to beat Legion. Good God. Yeah, you can have Titan Skin. It's not going to change your outcome. Yeah, they bogworms the top floor. Like, I want to overstack, but I can't overstack the top floor, because if I overstack the top floor, I'm going to lose, so... Gosh. Yeah, for the sake of possibly not losing, I'm going to go big. Salvage the calcified, salvage the scrap metal, and then I play a super buffed Spear Steward. And then with the remaining 6, I heal up the pyre. Oh, gosh. Yeah, Savage Spearman, Energizing Flautist, and the Fallen Champion all ascending past us. Maybe that Spear Steward needs to be on top. Because they're hasting past us, so I do actually need to set up my most powerful line in my most powerful position. Steel, Polychlor, and I literally just need to start pulling. 2. Okay. I want to save health on my units, but the Pyre Steward's just going to be full healed very easily with these Witch Weaves eventually, so I'm going to bonk the Flight. 1, 2. So as long as I win on the bottom line, which I have to plan on winning on the bottom line, because I literally can't plan otherwise, we'll be okay. Spear Steward. Heal and then hoist down that Steward. Maybe the hoists have got us here? God, I hope so. You butt. Well, thankfully it's not too much of a problem. We do actually have the rest of the ability to get through that. Good lord. There you go. And hell, I'll even pull down another one. Legitimately, without Steel Polychlor, I don't even know if that would have been possible. Celestial Storm's pretty high base cost. I like that. Alright, second Bonk versus Weldling. The thing is, Bonk it's one of the best ways for me to gain Forge, because it's spell damage, it targets the enemy backline, it does so many important things, but also I really do need to be able to give my frontline some damage. If the Weldling had Mage Blade at any point, that bottom line literally is solved. Why did I have to say that out loud? It made me pick the Weldling. I didn't want to do that. I was trying to argue my way out of it. Holdover. Excuse me? Holdover Bonk? Yeah. The real question is Holdover Bonk's spell chain. I think it's even worth. Ember Stone, so I can use the Bloody Moons as a pump. Also, in a Magic Power and Consume is an easy Witch Weave. I don't dislike Nightingale, and I'll probably just have to... Well, I was about to say I'll probably just have to take it, but what I really need is a frontliner for a second line, right? Right? No. No, it's Nightingale. Wrath, Benevolence, or Courage? I'm leaning Benevolence, but the problem... All of these are an ability, so they can't go on the Pious Steward. Well, I mean, they can, but they'll overwrite an ability. Advance, restore to full health, and gain armor equal to the amount healed. I've never really liked Courage as the pickup here. Benevolence, restore all friendly units to full health and grant +5 health as well. That's not bad. Wrath, attack immediately. I like that for damage, but I don't... I mean, either I put that on Nightingale or I don't put it on anyone. Alright. There you go, Nightingale. Enjoy your Wrath. I don't think it's time to start removing cards. Sorry, Archeon, you are going to see a lot of empty floors. Guess I'm more sorry to me that that's the case. Two additional capacity for the top line so far really helps. Great. Oh, I'm just thrilled to see a top floor like this. I don't actually have something to salvage right now. That's okay. Spear Steward, yoink. And I'll heal for 2. Steel Bully Claw, pull up. You can have 2 more units on that floor. One of them Shield Steward, one of them Spear Steward. No, it should be Spear Steward and Worldling. So I'm going to Hoist to pull up Spearman. I'll kill him. I'll replace the Steel Pulley Claw with another Steel Pulley Claw so that I can hoist and kill another Spearman. And then after that, a little bit of additional HP for the old Pyre Steward. Mm. 7, 18. Yeah, even on full health, the Shield Steward dies here, so it's another 5 damage I'm going to be taking at the end of the turn. I'm not thrilled about it, but do what you got to do. Which actually also means I should probably just pull you off the floor, right? Ooh, or I pull up Flagellant if I can kill it, which I can't, so I should. You'll take 20 damage at the end of this, so I need to deal 85 damage to you on this floor. 20, 43, 68, 91? Pretty sure I can pull you up. Yeah, and then Steward survives this line, so we save ourselves 5 pyre damage. And we also take out the Flagellant. I really want to play the Calcified Ember, but I think for the sake of my Pyre, I really should salvage. And then have the Fire Steward give me health. This is also a really good play for the sake of our Forge points. Yeah, because I'm really going to want that Weldling. Bonk. Best I can do. So now, develop Weldling, pull up Weldling, and Wrath every 3 turns. Probably not going to use it next turn. I could do 30 more damage to the boss, but I might need to use this next turn. And the 30 more damage to the boss won't really change anything. Salvage scrap metal will 6, 6, 12, 18, 30. Okay, so only if I armored the Shield Steward could it go on the boss. Oh, actually, hang on. 6, 18, 24. We can do this. Turn that off. Shield Steward bottom line. Just, again, defends us against 5 higher damage. Worth doing if it can do that. Then this bonk I can't use for a Slay. So I'll salvage it. Then turn my Forge points back on. Summon a Spear Steward. And you come up here. Mwah. Now that's about as good as that one can go, I'm pretty sure. Salvage through a Celestial Storm. Just enough. I've reached the 7 limit. Okay. I know that there's a bunch of Witch Weaves in here. I have to be drawing them soon, right? Oh my god. Again, barely getting through this one currently. At least I got to heal my Pyre again. Damn. I need help here. Souls. Ursul's Hammer on Nightingale and the Wrath ability? That might be some serious defense and damage scaling for that floor. There's also Heavenfall, which I can't even cast at the moment. It's very good for eating, though. Smelt. And there's Anvil Breaker, which is not what it needs to be for us. I mean, giving Attuned to Anvil Breaker... Oh no, but it only multiplies the effect of Magic Power and Conduit, which this is not. It's just Forge. Yeah, I think it's Ursul's Hammer. I'm not against Silent Sentinel. I do like it a lot. I was only recently made aware that apparently people don't like this unit. I love it. Forge Steward, though. You seem like a very easy unit to throw on a lower line and just let take damage for a while, which is the best thing in that selection screen for me, unfortunately. So additional deployment ember for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I already have enough deployment energy for all of my stuff at the moment. Unless I also want to make Persil's Hammer deployable. I have a Merchant of Arms before the... Oh! Oh! Oh, no. Okay, we got Merchant of Trinkets in the next area, but I'm probably not going to want to go there, because I'd only be able to pick up one trinket, likely. Don't have the money. Merchant of Steel with Forgotten Boons and Armory on the left-hand side looks really, really good. But if I take that, I'm probably not going to want to go to the next Merchant of Steel, which has a Railforged banner next to it, so I miss out on getting another unit that could be relevant, like maybe the Knuckle Steward. But I'd miss out so that I can go to another Armory and a Merchant of Arms, which is just 2 more opportunities to try... Well, 3 more, actually. This is the first Armory, second Armory, and the Merchant of Arms. Opportunities to try and find a Crescent to do my Mage Blade damage. And also that second Merchant of Arms would likely be used to make Persil's Hammer deployable, which would then ask me to take energy right now, which I'll do. Conduit 2, don't care about those moon cycles. Curious. Smidge Stone and Immortal Stone. I mean, I'll happily Immortal the Forge Steward and just play it on the bottom line and then let it die, and then I'll play it on the bottom line and I'll let it die, and I'll play it on the bottom line and then I'll let it die. Iron Tongue. It's sweep access if I can merge it with the Persil's Hammer. Look, I want that play to work. Striking every unit on the same floor and having a bonus for each strike, it's gonna be great. Right now, though... Yes. Yeah, I don't think I need to smidge any of you. I overstack my floors. And I got the Bogworms. It's Endless for Forge. It is Health for Forge. It's also reroll. Multi-strike, like a natural multi-strike or quick, gosh forbid, or Nightingale would really, really change the game. Look, it's not what I wanted, but it's what we got. Multi-strike native for Nightingale. I'll give the +14 to Weldling. Burst. Give it to a salvage machine, just so I have the, like, salvage machine goes to the back of the line, but just in case I desperately need this to get over an enemy. I really like Burst. I thought I wouldn't because it's like a one-time bonus, but I really like Burst because it says this unit has another plan for being useful. It just needs to do something when it comes out on the board as well, so it's not a dead space. And Burst is like, no problem. I got it. We're bursting out onto the battlefield. Tough as nails. Enemies enter with Titan Skin 4. Not too bad. Ugh. Penance Seekers. All right, I'm gonna have to try and pull up Scourge Givers so that I can defend myself against them. Yuck. Well, a Steel Pulley Claw that allows me to pull one up on turn 1 and then immediately bonk it. It's great. Give me the salvage. Hoist. Bonk. Salvage scrap metal as well. Gonna drop a Weldling with 13 forge points, and then yoink him next turn. Bonk. Bonk. Got him. Ascend goes to the back of the line, right? I think I ascend you. Because then you go up and you just hit me for 2 damage, which is fine. And then the Fallen Executioner is revealed, so I can try and deal 180 to it. Which is tough, because I just used my burst to get that first 100 down. Ursul's hammer thankfully comes down with a ridiculous amount of damage, and now the top line's comfortable. Woo! We'll double bonk the bottom line. Retrieve some more health up here. Salvage a salvage. I guess I can bring this shield steward up, sure. And having another unit up there to benefit from the Ursul's hammer is really nice. God, I'm so pleased with this holdover spell chain bonk. Oh my god, it has holdover. If I said anything really dumb earlier this match where I was like, I can't believe I'm drawing this every turn. Look. Oops, is my defense against that. Excuse me, Judge. My defense is whoopsie. I'd like to enter a plea of whoopsie. If that's not okay, I can amend it to include Daisy, if the court allows. There you go, 6 more high health. The beautiful bonkitude. And now with all of that done, give me one of your biggest defenders. Thunk thunk. I'm getting really good pie healing out of this steward. I think I'm getting dangerously close to the point where I decide Pie Steward is good in every deck. Dangerously close. Well. Eclipse Chamber. New moon effects are always active. Silent unit K plus 15 damage on resolve. Obviously ridiculous for Nightingale. Unfortunately, it's the only silent unit that would be on that top line. But also, I can use Fully Claw to pull others up if I need, maybe. I want Eclipse Chamber. The only problem is if only Nightingale is benefiting from it, there's probably a better room that I could use instead. Cover of Night. Phase 2 New Moon. Apply 5. Damage and Stealth 1 to friendly units. That could be good. Moonrise a little less so. Part of the unique power of having Smelt in the deck is not always, but I have more ability than other decks to trade away card advantage for energy advantage, which is also what Moonrise does. I'm taking a Cover of Night. Machinist's Tome. 1000% Machinist's Tome. Getting the Pious Steward to take a maximum of 15 damage from any individual attack. I mean, both of these came with Calcified Embers as well, which I am actually pretty excited about, but quietly. Okay, those aren't it yet. All right, well, no problem. Maybe you have it. All right. All right. Tricky one, huh? You're not gonna give me the goddamn crescent? How dare you? But, well, actually, annoyingly, none of these are especially good for me either. Meat Shield. Nope, I defend with armor. Glass Cannon. Yeah, possibly. It's pretty good to put on a Weldling. Alright, Glass Cannon for the Weldling it is. Merchant of Arms. I think that Echo Vault's probably coming with me. I guess the main problem with the Echo Vault is I have a lot of spells that don't really care about being cast for a second time, except for the fact that they incant. That's the only thing they care about. But I'll probably get something else as well later. God, is that true? Should I take Echo Vault at all? Double apply Machinist's Tome? No. Double salvage? I don't even know how that would work. How's it going to target in my hand? Is it just going to target whatever's left in my hand? Would I want that? And Witch Weave? Damn. Actually, I'm very awkward, but I'm starting to lean the other direction. I think I should go for none of those. Also, I think this salvage machine would benefit from wearing a stasis crystal, but oh, Hell's Flame, additional energy. Maybe I can do that. Maybe I can get away with it. Good lord, this is bad. Okay, so there are good things too. There are good things too. Let's take Weapons Cache. Let's make this Weapons Cache deployable. That Swift Steel Dagger sounds like a good idea to me as well. I would love to merge it with something. Can't do that though. Just have to take the dagger. Removals. I mean, this one's simple. One Shield Steward, one Spear Steward, please. -1 energy per turn is actually going to be a real annoyance here, unfortunately, but eh. Alright. Weapons Cache. Echo. Salvage. Fire Steward in the front. Nightingale between them. Stasis Crystal for Salvage Machine. Ursul's Hammer for Nightingale. Give Quick to Echo because someone's got to be holding it. This Merchant of Arms will allow me to merge I probably go energy again, to be entirely honest with you. This Merchant of Arms then allows me to merge the Swift Steel Dagger and the Herzls, and then I can pop that on Nightingale. Incredible at that point. And then I'll just leave the Glass Cannon until Weldling's out. So Steel, Polyclaw the top line, and then we'll a Yoink. I gotta bonk you if I want to be able to keep my bonk. Oh, Iron Tongue's in here as well. Of course. I think that can easily just go on IS2 in the front line. There's that Weldling. Oh yeah. Another bonk. Wait. Did not think about how that second bonk was going to prevent the Weldling. Fine, I'll bonk you on ground floor so then I can play the Weldling, so then I can hoist that Weldling. That Weldling will deal the additional damage to get us across the line. Incredible. Nightingale gets the hit 4 times that turn, and also, it looks like probably this turn. Oh. Yeah, I just realized. Yeah, so, the Stasis Crystal doesn't really want to be on the old salvage machine. Maybe move that over to Echo instead. It overrode the salvage machine's ability. Decent amount more incants. And if I have another tanky unit here, I get more armor and health. There you go, we'll heal up the fire action. Perfect. Oh my god, we get a second calcified ember down as well? I didn't think it was possible. I guess it kind of has to be possible given the deck has like 5 copies of calcified ember. It has 1 at the moment? How many have I burned this battle? There's an argument for Hexcalation, but it's kind of weak. None of my spells actually deal that much damage, but if I get them on the top line, I've got a lot of Conduit up there. Pretty much any spell does enough damage. I'm leaning Cover of Night, actually, though. I could also use this to ascend my own units, so Steel Pulley Claw in addition. Nah, give me the Cover of Night. Magnetic Relay. Return a friendly unit's and its equipped attached equipment to your hand. Just gonna take a full throttle so I can drop that on the top line. Also, high Ember cost, good for smelting, things like that. Merchant of Magic seems nice, but I also haven't gone to a Merchant of Trinkets yet. It's getting pretty late. Intrinsic for the Machinist's Tome would be incredible. Cost reduction for full throttle. No, it's got to be Merchant. Well, actually, hang on. Is that dupe maybe ridiculous? Nah, the dupe's just fine. I'll leave. It's Merchant Trinkets. When you forge an equipment, apply +2 armor and +2 damage for each forge point spent. The reason that's difficult is because the only piece of equipment that I plan to play halfway through the fight at the moment is the glass cannon on the Weldling. The rest of them I'm trying to play in deployment phase. Friendly units gain stealth 1 on summon slay, +3 damage per stack of stealth. I don't hate it, and also our frontliner on the top line is... it's not gonna slay. But if our frontline does slay, we have problems. I feel like I might be better served by not taking any of these, actually, and just rolling. Units get an extra upgrade slot. So we're going to have to go Merchant of Arms in the next area, and then Merchant of Steel. Looks like. Good lord, please. Alright. Boiler Room's tough because of all of the other rooms. I don't really have a floor where I can set that up. Glass Cannon, don't need a second one. Iron Tongue, don't need a second one. I'm going to take the opportunity here to remove a card from the deck. Oh boy. This is not how I wanted this to go. Oh, you bastard. Okay, the top line grew again, so now we have 8 capacity, 6. I need 7. So I currently just have to short play a unit. I just have to not play one of the units, like Salvage Machine. I just can't put it on the bottom line or something like that. The only way I can do it, so you do it the only way you can do it. Thank heck we have the Herzl's Hammer. That's really going to help. You can hold Iron Tongue. Nothing's against that. You can even hold the Stasis Crystal, frankly. Actually, the Stasis Crystal will prevent you from being targeted by the buffs from Nightingale, which is not great, but does have to be the case. Weldling already. I can't even do anything about that one yet. I have literally no forge. I put it down on the second line with no forge? Yes, because I can give it forge when I equip the glass cannon. Apply burst to the bottom line and then have Nightingale attack so I can gain as much additional armor as possible. Great. Don't need additional health, but Ekka's getting better every single turn if I can afford to leave her in there. Good lord. I do have 2 steel bully claws in this deck. I'm just not drawing them. Managed to cut another Witch Weave from this deck. Oh. Sorry, another Calcified Ember, and then I played a Witch Weave afterwards, so it overrode the most recent information, the most recent stored card name. There's that Bully-Claw. Oh, I also should have been forcing additional attacks out of Nightingale on other and earlier turns. I honestly don't even have a good holder for that Swift Steel at the moment. There we go. Let's start getting our armor. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. Nightingale. Wait, actually, I'm literally about to just buff the entire floor, so I may as well move another unit down first. Hoist our salvage machine down here. Now, I'll manually salvage scrap metal from hands. I'll bonk. Was I bonking? No. Big glass cannon with a big weldling. Ah, right, of course. And then the Nightingale attack to buff the entire floor. Yeah, I mean, I guess my job is now just don't take damage. Not too tough of a job. And the Forged Steward is still alive. Yeah, there's nothing I could draw, nothing on board that has any permanent element. Okay, great. Usually the Pious Steward would trip that, but full health means I don't have to worry about that at all. Get him! Okay, yeah, Hersel's Hammer is ridiculous. Title turning. It has to be. This... If you miss Phase Blessing in the early game, especially with a deck that has Conduit, you basically are waiting for Title Turning to turn up in the rare drafts for Lunar Coven, because it's just an AoE version of Phase Blessing. Restore health to friendly units, 10 health if it matters, but healing over health, max health applies armor instead, and of course that will take all Conduit. Energy, it was energy for the sake of deployment. I have to go to the Merchant of Arms now. Putting Zone of Silence on the bottom line wouldn't be too good. Wouldn't be especially useful. Making Steel Pulley Claw deployable would be nice. Got it. Alright, that's our Moonlit Glaive. Now, my job is to figure out how to make that ridiculous in deployment. So you really want your Multi-Striker to be holding that, but the problem is my Multi-Striker really wants to be holding Iron Tongue... No. Nightingale, I'll have you just hold Hersel's Hammer with a Swift Steel Dagger in it. I do think, like, Weldling could easily be the person that holds the Moonlit Glaive. Does anyone else on that bottom line benefit disproportionately from the additional damage? No. Annoyingly, I still think Hersel's Hammer on Nightingale is necessary for the scaling of the rest of the floor, for the defense of the rest of the floor, for the damage. This is so annoying. I want to merge 2 pieces of equipment right now. 4 pieces of equipment into 2 merged equipments. I want Hersel's Hammer to merge with Swift Steel Dagger, and then I want the Glass Cannon to merge with Moonlit Glaive. I do think Hersel's and Swift Steel is essential. I mean, simple removal. That second Bloody Moon's pretty short. For the reliability of our opening draw, I almost want to cut out, like, Glass Cannon. In which case, I'm kind of just committing to... Actually, I'm literally going to cut the Stasis Crystal. I included it, but I can play 4 units on the same floor in the right setup, and I have 4 weapons I can draw out with that. If one of those weapons, however, happens to be the Stasis Crystal, it doesn't help me. Lightforge. And then a final purge. I mean... yeah, which weave is probably the least. But actually, I'll just hold on to the 60. I don't think a Witch Weave is going to make too much difference, but it might matter to the Merchant of Trinkets or Merchant of Steel in the next area. Start a battle, enemies reach Ugh. So Terrifying Amalgam's going to want us to set up down low, because otherwise the... Oh god, I was dealing with 180 health units, and now it's 425. Like, literally, this fight, 180. This fight, 425. It really feels like there needs to be another fight between these two. So if I have to set up on the bottom line, I probably end up having to divide our line again. Which means I probably end up taking 48 damage on that top line turn 1. Can't do that. These things are also spell shielded, so they're even harder for me to just tick with spells. Set up top line, says Mark of Invasion. Set up bottom line, says Terrifying Amalgam. Die, says the Thane. God damn it. All right, 9th capacity top floor, and we've still got 6 and 6 on the bottom two. Great, 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 great. Well, I'm going to be missing out on one of the weapons again. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not stressed. You are. God damn it. The only shot I had at scaling high enough was the Nightingale holding Herzl's hammer. You... All right, I gotta give you the moon. I gotta give him the Mage Blade, and then I gotta cast a bunch of... That's how I can get damage. Good gosh. Oh, I'm so sad. You. Mm-hmm. Let's salvage the scrap metal. So annoyed by this. Anyway, there's that merged equipment right over the top of the Mage Blade. I didn't know I was going to draw the merged equipment on turn 1. If I drew it any later turn, I think it would be probably correct to keep the Mage Blade on instead. But I did draw it turn 1. Then, Steel Pulley Claw, and I can Steel Pulley you down here. And then Cover of Night for some additional damage, and that gives us the ability for Nightingale to scale. It could be a lot worse. Well, I know this is how you feel about it at the moment, but there's some burst. Could I persuade you to feel differently? I'm going to leave the Blast Cannon in the deck until I find... It's not a bad damage up for Echo. Yeah, I should leave it until I find Welding. I'm going to need the additional health on the Fire Steward. Thank heck for the holdover bonks. Bonks. One bonk. too long. Worldling comes out with a ridiculous amount of damage and armor, really helping out that bottom line. And then next turn, if I need to, I can just pull the Amalgam back down. Alright, no additional permanent benefits I'm capable of getting here. No? Okay, good. Steel Pulley Claw, pull that back down so I don't have to deal with any damage. And now I get to go and fulfill the Pyre Stone housing. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Alright, it's just not real. Alright. It's fine. Yeah, it's just how it is. Magic trinkets. When you forge, gain an additional forge point. When you forge a unit or equipment, grant +2 health for each forge point spent. All manifolds, Exos guards, of which I have X equals 0. Let's quick. Huge. So we get Titanite for our frontliner. We get Quick for Nightingale, which means you can just wear the base Herzls as well still now. I'm going to drop some additional Burst on Salvage. I'm going to drop some additional damage on Weldling. I kind of want to get a second Nightingale, to be frank, a second one. I am probably setting up on one of the higher lines, so I can probably get a second Nightingale, actually. In this fight, yeah, actually in this fight, I'm setting up on the top line. That was the plan. Come on. Oh, and now it gives the additional capacity to the bottom line. Of course, of course. Now it's happy to do it. You. How dare you? Nightingale? Nightingale? Scrap machine, back machine. Iron Zone for the frontliner. We'll give that merged equipment there. Then I think it's just Moonlit Glaive for the next two. So Herzl's other hammer wants to go on Herzl's other Nightingale. And then the glass cannon just keeps a low cost until I have a Weldling out. I think I give the burst to the top line. It's not really anywhere else to play it at the moment. And also, it's additional scaling from the Nightingale. As soon as I get my bonk, we have our solution to the Deafening Herald. But until then, we have a different way to solve it. So we'll double up on Cover of Night. I'm going to salvage the Curse of Entropy so I don't have to take the damage or nerf my units. Then Let's dislocate the Chosen Ardent. This is important because it also gives the Nightingale the ability to be the unit killing it. So we get our scaling for us. Great. I've got a Bloody Moon for you. I do feel like I should probably wait a cycle before playing Tidal Turning. It was a good opportunity to get rid of that Calcified Ember. Don't want to forge this guy. This guy is how I get forge points. He's endless. Neither doesn't. You don't need to be good. You need to exist, and that's about it, buddy, actually. There's our bonk. The other one needs its Ursul's Hammer before I want to really start throwing down. Alright, no, I buffed that Chosen Ardent a lot more than I needed to. Let's heavy cast before it comes up. So this is Nightingale, Burn, Witch Weave, bonk, bonk. Guess I'll play Gravity just to send you. Then yoink up the Chosen Ardent so that it doesn't have any impact on future floors. Bring me the silence unit, so I may slay them. This Ursul's Hammer is going to come out like a truck on this Nightingale. I think I'm finally okay with weakening us. I really do want to be salvaging a scrap metal if I can. I think I can probably get away with pulling up the Chosen Ardent. Finally! Oh god, it took a while as well. This one was tough. Anyway, turn the forge points back on. It's time for the biggest worldling ever. You can come up to the top line, buddy. Let me salvage this scrap metal for you. Then you can have a glass cannon for even more armor scaling. And now I'll also give a Machinist's Tome to Pyre Steward, so the armor scaling is good for you. Then I guess attack with the Urzelhammer guy. And so it is. There's your Herzel's hammer, buddy. Thunk, thunk, thunk. I'll hoist up a dangerous unit. And then, because of the amount of damage I'm seeing represented on our board, I'll also hoist up just another pretty dangerous unit to leave on other floors. Now Forge Steward can get the forge points. Not that it matters. All right. I think that'll do it. Despite negative 60 damage on all of my units as well. Woo! This thing is going to be an absolute nightmare for savagery. And Dominion's just going to be standing up on the top line watching the entire battle, basically. Do I have any ways of sneakily hasting that Dominion kill? I didn't take Pyre Plating earlier, which would have been a way to do it. Gives damage and armor to your Pyre, but I also don't think I needed it. I mean, I could cast random spells up there, but with no magic damage, so they don't really change much. Yeah, I have almost no way to really affect the top line that way. Oh well. It's Weapons Cache, Eka, Nightingale, Nightingale. Then another Pyre Steward leads the line. Oh, we got both of the Urzel's hammer from turn 1. That's so important because both of these Nightingales have a unit to hit on turn 1. I also summoned these in the wrong order. Eka has to be behind the Nightingales. I know the Nightingales attack at quick speed, and Eka does not. But they buff the floor. Oh no, but they also attack at quick speed. Would it make any difference if they were in the other order then? No. Okay, never mind. I guess unless I care about trample damage, but that's not going to happen. Anyhow, returning. The Nightingales, both of them having their Herzel's Hammer on turn 1's hugely important because we'll always have an enemy to hit in Entropy. So we're just going to be scaling ridiculously. So, Moonlit, Herzel's. Unfortunately, I can't drop that glass cannon this turn. Actually, the best first turn I can get. Salvage, scrap metal. Yeah, okay, it's pretty close to the best first turn I can get. Salvage the scrap metal. Machinist's Tome. Drop Vengeful Shard, play Cover of Night, shifting over to New Moon, so now I've got 4 multi-strike on both of my attackers who have a Hersel's Hammer on them, and I've got Wrath. So attack here, and then at the end of the turn, do it again. Also, this Weldling, play you on the bottom line. As soon as I get my Steel Claw, I will yoink you to the top. That's half the health of Entropy this turn. Come on, pulley. Okay, I can keep the Weldling alive this turn. Unfortunately, Witchweave Bloody Moon is just short on killing the Chosen Assassin. Frozen Assassin. Oh, hang on. I gotta take care of the Chosen Scourge. What's your name? Chosen Supplicant. Anyway, I chose you to die. I know it's minor, but I could get 3 more Conjured on top line if I cast my Pyre there. I want to give you the Glass Cannon. And I can, actually. I just have to forge you. God, I really need to steal Bully Claw next turn, though. Weldling's so good. Can we talk about that for a second? Weldling's so good. All right, done. Yep. That's on the right floor, then that goes there, then that goes there. Brilliant. Thank heck. I'll wait until next turn to have both Nightingales attack again. Heal up for 4 from the Steward. The Chosen Assassin's just going to be... Oh, I may not have Bonk next turn. But thankfully, I will have enough armor on my unit. Oh, and I'll have the Nightingale attacking that turn. That's great. That's great. Okay, that'll solve it. These Witchweaves are just additional conduit at the top line. Perfect. Get Zim! Brilliant. Yeah, I think forging the Forge Steward at this point is reasonable enough. Full throttle the top floor. And then I will hoist up a Chosen Ardent. Come on, descend! Knew that wasn't going to work. I did just want to do it anyway, though. That's the rest of Savagery's health going down this round. absolutely not a clever idea to try and hit units behind them, though. Okay, never mind. My biggest attacks would have gone through. I could have put a 400 health unit there and be fine. I lowered the damage on the Pious Steward, but I gave it more health, so it works out. I'm so gratified to actually finally have a run where the Herzl's Hammer is like a significant part of our scaling strategy. As soon as I saw it for the very first time, this is exactly the run I was excited about. I just kept just being so close to having this run, and then the wheels come off the train. That's it. That's the last turn my Pyrelite will even let me have. Giant Smith on that Forge Steward. Look how big he is now. Oh, he's so damn big. I think it's time to send this one. Finally. The Herzl's Hammer of my dreams. Every unit? Wait, it shows the unit's current buffs in this screen now? Wait, what? What's Eka shown as? Okay, so it doesn't show in-play things. Like, it's not showing the Mage Blade, but it is showing on the card itself. The armor? Wait, no! It's because Herzl's Horde is granting armor. Okay, so in this game, there's a couple of different ways. If you apply a stat change to a unit, it is applied to the base unit. If you grant something to the unit, it is not. So an endless unit that has seen a bunch of Herzl's Hammer strikes, like for instance, you know, like if Nightingale had endless, I could then play it again and it would already have all of the buffs from the previous Herzl's Hammer because it applied those buffs rather than granting them. Sick. Trying to look for an example of grant in this deck. I mean, Forge. Forge is an example of grant in this deck. You grant it +3 damage and +3 armor for each Forge point spent. So this Forge Steward must have only just seen the armor. Wait, but it's got 100 and... Wait. Does Forge apply? Were you getting more stats? Actually, hang on. Just before I... Did I play you this turn? I need to see this. Because if, like, Forge upgrades are permanent for that battle, and they are. If they're permanent for that battle, then it is applying, not granting. What are the other sources of grant in this game that we're familiar with? Grant friendly units. Oh man, grant doesn't mean anything to me as a word anymore. I've reached semantic satiation with it. But grant friendly units conduit 5. If I take the planetarium off the field, they don't still have conduit. If I have an endless unit die on a planetarium floor and then I play it again on the planetarium floor, unless I'm very much mistaken, that unit doesn't end up with 10 conduit. So grant I mean, Grant here is an aura application, sure. I mean, Grant's on all the enchants as a aura application as well. It's usually spells that are a bit more... Grants. Yeah, they're all temporary bonuses. As soon as the unit is removed from the field of influence of that temporary bonus, it no longer has the granted bonus. Given the way that... Look, I'm not going to submit a report about this, but given my understanding, and there are people that understand the game way better than me, I'm going to hedge my bets in every which way, but given my understanding, other than manually seeing it occur otherwise, I would have assumed that upgrades provided by Forge points were temporary, rather than a fight-long buff given to that unit, because of the grant rather than apply keyword. Now, obviously, apply is different from apply permanently, which is what the actual, permanent blacksmith line does. Am I way off base here? Only tell me, by the way, if you know the game super well. If you know these, like, if you tested the game before, come on, absolutely. I want to hear your opinion on this. If you're just like, well, I reckon, please have a very strong and well-founded reckoning. I'm already confused. I don't need someone who is also confused to be like, I think it's like this, unless you know it's like that, in which case, again, more than welcome to, please do. All this to say, GG. Herzl's hammer deck. It did the thing. Also, it was nice to see the Resident Crescent actually come back around by the end. It might not have been our main source, but our units in the back line were dealing 500 damage, which is good enough. Full Throttle Machinist's turn. The Weldling and another card all get gilded. We also have a new personal record for enemies killed on top floor and a new personal record for enemy units moved between floors. As much as I want to bring attention to Herzl's hammer in this run, and Bonk. Hey, Bonk was doing huge work. Not interesting work, but huge work. Weldling as well. But I almost wonder if this is really the run. It's how I survived the early game by overstacking, and then by the late game, I was using this to just select enemy units that needed to die. My name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is a series playlist for all my content on the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Out of a thank Dan, a special thanks this episode to Moloko. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.